trophies. compLexity been done good in the group stages. Can they pick it up here and perform at the same level they've been showing throughout this major? It's been fantastic to see. And ladies and gentlemen, your hometown hero Def about to go up against MIBR here. Let's make some noise as we get ready for the second quarterfinal of the day. MIBR studying on the T side of train, compLexity on the CT side. An asset for them. It's going to need to be a successful start. I feel like they need momentum, toe for toe, pound for pound. MIBR have got more firepower with their compLexity. They've got the strategies, they've got the teamwork. As we get into, we'll see what kind of approach is coming in from the Brazilian side. We've got Fallen with one smoke, the Molotov available there, and of course they head towards inside. The Molotov presumably used towards Connector, can be used in post-plant play as well, but here we go. Def to be challenged as he holds off the inside push.
Keep in mind, as the bomb goes down, or this game only, you can actually check out the premium pass completely for free. More on that info in a minute, because this pistol round teaming up Android's Tarek down bomb. Remember, continues to tick. It's a 3-on-3. Stan has the kit and the smoke. Remember, there is one in play. As Cold already on the map, already sitting inside of it, has actually let them go by. The positioning is incredibly important because they have the backside as E-connector. Good trade from Ye. Turn around the wing against Shazam, and he's actually taken out Fallen. It brings it to a one-on-one with Fallen. It's got to be all Ye. 6 HP. He can play the time. Ye has not picked up the kit, but he's going to try and use the smoke, try and use the advantage. He still can't find Fallen. One bullet would do it, and Ye has now done it. Fallen is sneaky, and MIB hit the round.
Classic Fallen play there. Low HP, did everything he could to stay away from the CT player. There was smoke down on the bomb. He had to use, 15 bullets, even stop the defuse initially, and he comes out on top with 6 HP. Both of them go down with the bomb, just to know. No compLexity players survived to round number 2 here, so they are going to force by in the second. We've got a plethora of different pistols here. Deagles, P250s, CZs, and a scout for Def. MIBR focusing on the rifles, though. It's train, it does make sense. A very long-range map here. Lots of easy altercations with the rifles to abuse, as we'll see 4 AK-47s. Tarek with the MAC-10, throw him in first, as he'll be holding towards the dumpster for now, as they try and obtain some Brown Horse control. Don't need to do anything too quick here. We do talk a lot about, especially on the big stage, teams that go for inside rushes on this second round. You don't know if you're going towards a stack, especially on a map like Train. You want to slow it right down, go into that default, bait out some of the grenades, see if you can feel out where the stack may lie. If you can get a 5 versus 4, a nice opening pick, then you go into a bomb site together. And as you can see, Brown Horse flashbang coming in, not giving anything away here, making sure there's trade potential. They're saving the majority of the utility with 2 smokes here and the flashbangs, and they're walking towards that upper ramp. We always said it's a good way to enter the bomb site. You're up against those pistols. You've got the advantage here, bird's eye view of the site, and it should be working out for Stewie. We'll see if he can nail this first shot.
Into the site for think down Ye. Not much the pistols can do. Wide only just as 57 from that. His armor can't do much. Pretty straightforward for the AKs. It's Cold. Gets 2 more. Tarek finds one on a MAC-10. MIBR go up 2-0. Convincing fashion. All 5 staying alive.
Very convincing. That's how you do it. That's an anti-force spy. Perfectly done there by MIBR. Nothing to report. Only a little bit of damage taken as they came out of the upper ramp, but those lesser pistols unable to really find the headshots required. compLexity now in the full eco. Can't really justify anything into round number 3. It's a chance for MIBR to really develop some cash here. They haven't really got the build-up of the bonus round coming in. They've got that MAC-10, which could be influential if it survives to the next round. But overall, the 4 AKs, more of the same here. coldzera can afford to be a little bit more audacious with his openings because he knows there's no armor now. And obviously no armor, they will just melt if he gets his contact anywhere near. Shot by him. There's the 2 kills. You can see he got a little bit scary for a second, but still well held. Tarek can recover the AK-47 at the end. So we'll try and find one. Not going to happen. Tarek will try and find the AK as he knifes out. I'll just keep track of whether he finds it. Not going to happen. Oh, there it is. He gets it the very last second. So Tarek does recover it. And coldzera can even buy the AWP now. Give that to Fallen. That would make a lot of sense at this point. You've got plenty of cash. You just lost that MAC-10. Let's bring out the AWP. Give it to Fallen, who's looked revitalized, Matt. He's a player that's really turned his year around. 2018 has been one of the worst since he's become at the very top end of the scene. Yeah. But now, with this event especially, he's looking much better. People are saying Fallen is back, but Shazam has looked phenomenal as well. You pointed out that could be a really big, interesting battle here. We'll see how it comes on the top. Remember, 3 players who are helmets here, almost no utility or defuse kits for the CTs.
And remember, Shazam's definitely on the back foot in that battle, so pressure's on him. You are right. With MIBR and the history of the Brazilian rosters, they rose to prominence so quickly that we've never really seen them in a slump.
Yeah.
Of any prolonged period. Obviously, they've had a few bad events in that period of time, but this is the first sort of rebuilding phase that they've been into, and Fallen has been, I guess, symmetrical in form with the team. So him being back does certainly suggest good things for MIBR. But this round, slower pace. Now that the guns are brought out, minute 14 still to play with, and there's not really much utility left on the CT side. That second round force, you talked about it, Henry, leaves them with one smoke, one incendiary. No kits.
It makes a lot of sense. You want to be doing execution-based plays on these particular rounds. You know the CTs won't be fully equipped. They might not have a diffuse kit. If you can just get a post-plant situation for equal trades with the superior firepower as well, you're going to be onto a very successful start here on the T side of train. They are in full control as the execution comes in. 45 seconds remain. Looks like it will be an outside take. Could fall back to inside. Fur the bomb actually thinking about it as well. Indeed, they start to wedge back. So this is a classic fake. Will it pull a CT away from the inside bomb side? Shazam thinking about it. Hasn't moved just yet. Holding strong at the hitch. Watching towards the upper ramp. So they have not taken the bait. Very passive from the CTs.
Yeah, he's starting to get a little bit more aggressive on the B positioning. Wants to swing out behind spools. Some a bit more cover. Play solo. Rotation's already going back. Bomb planted. And finally a kill coming in. That's how slow and patient they were to approach the site. They couldn't really peek on the complexity side. Didn't have the defensive nades to do so. And the trades go back in the way of MIBR. It's now 2 kills to 1 that was found from above. They called Zero. WP finds Android. Fallen finds Def retreating. Control room. They knew that he was there the whole time. And Shazam's playing to save the op at this point in time in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, he has no defuse kit, no nades. His objective at this point, save the AWP, which is likely. He could actually do this. He's holding up for this. He knows he has to nail this shot. Now might be punished as he falls back towards the backtracks here. It's very important he saves the weapon. If he can, they have a chance of winning the next round. He's trying to keep everyone on that side. Actually works out. Fallen goes down, and he will save the AWP. I might have spoken too soon. As soon as we can find him, not quite.
That was actually well read from Shazam to go into that cubby, because he knew that Fallen was baiting for 2 reasons. One is he wanted to get out of there and get the information to where the op was, but also the flank.
So they wanted to start with a fake outside, right? They tried to do the smokes. The bomb was getting ready to go lower, but like I said, such a passive hold from the CTs yielded MIBR to have full outside control. It's like, well, we might as well come plant here. The CTs are playing so passively. The bomb goes down, still on a 5-on-5, and then Def gets the opening frag, but at that point, that bomb site is just too difficult to retake, especially against a team like MIBR. They've got the AWP, the utility, but more importantly, complexity do save the AWP. And like I said, you can still win these rounds. They've got a superstar AWPer. Shazam can carry rounds if required. You can see him being a little bit more active this time, trying to find the first pick. He can't just sit back and try and beat off an execution. He has to try and find the first kill and make things very problematic. But so far, nothing found for himself. His teammates slightly invest into this round of upgraded pistols. Only Ye with armor though. So they're taking a pretty hard eco here around the AWP. MIBR know the AWP is up, so they're going to be very tentative there and probably execute towards inside. They know the AWP there, good for 1 kill, even with smokes down. They'll have to reposition, they can still plant.
Old sneaks by. So far, no contact made. Shazam starting to approach toward Ivy now as well, realizing he hasn't seen anything toward the front side of it. Good news, as I suppose, that which they will, he can actually try and save the weapon once more without rotating over. We'll start for now just to see what becomes of the round, given that the bomb isn't yet planted. Fur's going to push forward. Smoke the same. It's a linear corridor to be stuck inside. The AK certainly prevails over the pistol, and Android falls quite convincingly. Now Shazam starts the retreat as expected, so it's all about saving the op once again to go 5-0 for MIBR.
Not bad at all on the T side. Horrible news for complexity. Like we said coming into this one, they looked amazing in the studio environment. That's when they really came together as a squad, started turning heads. But like we mentioned, Big coming into this stage looked like a different team. It's a lot different, the environment and the pressure applied onto her in the booth there. Complexity, rough start. Can they get out of it? Time will tell. Still very recoverable, very early days here. 5-0 though. Idyllic for MIBR. They've barely given away a kill. It's very promising for them so far. Another clean sweep for MIBR. The AWP is saved by Shazam. They've got plenty of cash. They can go for the double AWP setup, which we know they're capable of. We'll see if that rings true.
You make a good point. They've barely given away a kill. Fallen may only have 2 himself, but he's yet to die. And as a result of that, the AWPer post-buy in this round, where he repurchased, obviously, utility, still at 9,400. They've got a huge amount of money to work with.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult to break, if possible. So there it is. Def will bring out the secondary AWP as well, but still not looking 100% stable. Def without a diffuse kit or the majority of his grenades. And MIBR start to probe towards Ivy this time. They'll play around the AWP, get him up on the dumpster first, and try and go for that first pick. Def is waiting there. He's going to be challenging Fallen. That is not a battle you want to take traditionally. As he gets flashed off the initial angle, he'll have to smoke it now, knowing he's lost the opening duel per se. Won't have as much information as before. Firing off shots gives away the fact he has the orb on that side of the map, and Shazam is pushed back by the Molotov. Looks like he wants to stay there though. With the incendiary, throws towards the top of the lower ramp. If anything, this is still quite good news from MIBR. That's even better. Stewie 2K takes a 1 versus 1 duel against the AWP, comes out on top, and Ye has to try and recover this, and Stewie's down he goes. Ye tried to recover the situation map, but completely punished for it, and that's going to be round over already.
The shots are so accurate so far from MIBR. I hate to bring it up, but Big was certainly struggling to match the aim of Na'Vi early on. On Dust 2, that shows similar now. Fur's not convinced.
They don't even want to plant, they want to kill them. That's what they're doing right now. He's like, don't even plant. Let's just take everyone down with us.
Which would be huge as well, because the double op stand can't even, this is my point. Are hitting. We already saw Cold hit a very quick reaction shot on round 2 at the outer sight. We're seeing again now Stewie wrecking 2 players at the corner. The aim is perfect from MIBR, and that's going to be a massive problem for compLexity to overcome. No toe-to-toe. The skill favors MIBR. They have to be perfect on the compLexity side, but when they're firing like this, it's going to be so difficult. Opt to try and be saved for death. He's got 2 kills in the round.
Yeah, and both of them are when he's trying to protect himself in this particular situation. They boost up towards the Ivy area. Fur drops down though. It's definitely worth the hunt still. There's so much money on the T side. They can justify even another frag going against them. Fallen will eventually take down Def, and Android haven't really said his name too much yet. Not many kills coming in. He's 5 at the dumpster. He's surely going to be taking it. He's going to try and save the AWP. Coming in soon. It's actually the bullets.
Android, he needed to be more aggressive to actually spot Fallen and give Def a chance to play at Ivy. He didn't expect Fallen to be there, so if he had gotten the op back, maybe you could call it. That's fair enough. You made up for it, but yeah, they ran him down. This is looking so sharp. 6-0, and again, it's back to pistols on the CT side.
Indeed, Shazam's got just shy of $7,000, so they could have bought something, maybe a Scouts, maybe a little bit more interesting, but he stays in the Deagle, no armor, so he wants to make sure he has the AWP potential and have money to drop as well going forward. So it's CZs, and Deagles have got a couple of extra use towards at the start. No real damage inflicted, but there's some. Gets 2 very quick kills here as dominate the map of Train so far. Another clean sweep by the looks of things, Matt. compLexity need to wake up. MIBR just completely destroying them here in every altercation. Just a CZ available for Ye as he holds up towards the inside bomb side, looking at that connector. MIBR look way too comfortable. And the problem is when you get these sort of players in this zone map, they get into that mentality where they feel like gods, they can't die, and they start being more aggressive, more audacious with their strategies, and they can run over you very quickly. You need to find a way to shut this down. Now the problem is, do we go for an aggressive play on the CT side? Do we try and go for that first pick just to slow them down a little bit? They played very passively so far, and the problem with that is if you give MIBR that sort of space outside like we saw in that first gun round, they're going to punish you. They're going to know what to do in those scenarios. They're prepared for it. I feel like you need to surprise them somewhat, show you're not scared, you're not playing really far. The orb is challenging this. That has to be the way it's played, but unfortunately it's difficult to get in that mindset when you're down 7-0 on the CT side. You're just trying to hold on and make sure you don't go down first for your team. So round 8. No tactical timeouts here, I have to say. Surprising from compLexity. Would have thought they'd have dropped one in by now, but still. Orb comes out, money's starting to stabilize. This time they've got the diffuse kits, the orb, the utility required. Let's see if there's a change in stance. We see something aggressive here. We see them try and push the envelope in one part of the map. It will be Stanislaw alone towards the backtraps for now, and it looks like they might be playing in front of the bomb site this time as the CT. At least they'll be challenging for the choke points instead of sitting right back in positions like heaven.
Def sitting below the ladder. No utility spent in that way yet. They've got lots to work with finally on the compLexity side. Careful not to be bled of that though. So MIBR is wise to the fact that they will have a better purchase. They'll sit back and try and do exactly that. Try and figure out the CT positioning, but also leave them with time to defend late. Def pushing up inside of A main gives away his position, but had Android to support him. No one found. Not to say it won't become a problem later on as the bomb is left intentionally toward T-spawn, and they could certainly to lead the charge. Def has to make a decision. No bounce Molotov thrown. It's actually from halfway down the ladder. So they spotted the fact that he had to fall back as well, and they're going to do the double. Absolutely destroys him. Good trade from Android. He's able to swing back in, and with one player already retreating back up the ladder, Cold goes down. No response from Stewie.
There we go, still favours MIBR quite dramatically in a 4-on-4. CT still with no real information. They don't control anything significant on the map, maybe apart from Pop Dog. As smokes come in from the Brazilians, it doesn't seem like it. They're going towards outside. Punish Android, same story for Stanislaw, and now Shazam, the last line of defense outside, needs his hiding shots. He's doing a great job so far. Takes down Fern, he has got backup now.
Done well to get those 2 kills. Response from Ye once more. He's going to have to do better than that. Finds Fallen. Down to a 1-on-1. Finally, Ye spots Derek, but again, the shot reigns supreme for the AK.
So close there for Ye. Great footwork, brought it down to a winnable situation, but Tarek had too much information there. The fact he'd been tagged up already, it was going to be a very difficult 1-versus-1 for him to win. As he gets stuck in the connector, Tarek waits for him to peek and finds the 8-0. There will be money available once again for complexity. The weapons they've saved continuously throughout this first map. They've still got enough of the M4s, the AWP, but you can see almost no utility. This is more of a desperation buy now. Shazam with no armor, no kits, and this is where things can really start to get rough. But remember, a chance for MIBR to get in this sort of mentality. They can start to make mistakes, be too aggressive. Oh, there it is, an opening kill. Good spawn from Stewie. He takes the AWP, takes down the first player. Android has to pick up the AWP now, and they can slow things right down with his opening advantage.
Stewie tries to play his vision. Actually hit the shot on Android. He fell off of it. Didn't want to fire in the backside of Fur, but still damage done. Man advantage. Things looking lovely once more. complexity continue to struggle to even find kills. Cold reveals that he's there, but he's got problems though because a second player in Stewie once more. Cold and Stewie working in tandem to take over that pop dog position. Ye wants to compensate. You can't blame him at this point.
Yeah, they have to find some sort of advantage here. They're constantly on the back foot. And Stewie looking like he wants another, but good positioning from Ye brings it to a 3-on-3. Another winnable situation. Stan though, maybe a little bit too aggressive. Going to be punished for it, but they are keeping the frags and the trades coming through. Complexity now in the 2-on-2. 40 seconds remain. Sort of guaranteed kill here. Android with 10 HP, no chance whatsoever. Ye still going to be in the round somewhat. He's at the backtracks right now. No grenades, no defuse kit. That bomb goes down, it's game over. But if he finds Fallen here, catches him off guard, there is a chance. He's in the perfect position to do so. This could be the moment for complexity. There's the kill. 20 seconds remaining now. It's up to Tarek to try and recover this for MIBR.
Yeah, he's been the most solid by far for complexity, slowing things down, not walking into the angles that MIBR continue to hold and continue to dominate the position. Again as he rotates around and he outthinks Tarek. Something they've struggled to do is outthink their opposition. 8-1, complexity finally on the board, but only one player staying alive.
One player stays alive, meaning there's a daunting prospect of the reset coming through. But Ye, he takes matters into his own hands. That's the kind of plays we need to see. The lack of respect for MIBR. You need to get up close and personal in those choke points and outplay your opposition. That's what he has to do. Definitely talented enough to make those sort of plays. Pulls it off. This time the clutch goes in his favor. But Matt, look at the buy.
Yeah.
3 SMGs, 2 of which are MP9s. Lose this round, which is likely considering your buy, you're double eco. This is a nightmare for complexity. Still so much work to do. And the first bit of success they have is a little bit of a hollow victory because they just don't have the weaponry. What's going on here? All right.
That's interesting. He's done to the M4 in this position, and he's going to find Tarek as well. Android gets Fur. Suddenly it all works out. Complexity change the approach. They go doubly aggressive toward A main. Fallen. Puts a Molotov off on the bomb. That also forces Android further away, which pushes him back out of the smoke, and was potentially, I was going to say, into the line of sight from Zero, but he's smoked off. Smart play. Fallen still, though, able to find shots.
Can't face these kind of choke points against coldzera and Fallen. Even on a 5-on-2, I think they had the great setup there, trying to get a bit more intel. But at this point, you've got such an advantage. Just play the bomb sites. That should guarantee the round here. But coldzera find any sort of damage. Apparently not. Much better for complexity. A must-win round there. They avoid the reset. They upgrade to AK-47. 3 of those and save the AWP. There is a light at the end of the tunnel here for complexity. We're not over just yet. As Stanislaw gets it done towards main entrance there, the MP9 in hand. Shazam secures the round by taking out Fallen, and here's Death to close things out. Good stuff as complexity now back on their feet. They've got one more buy, well, maybe 2 to break MIBR first. But a start now. Already lost a half. They're looking for that 8-7, which is definitely still possible. They can do this.
Long road ahead of them. certainly. Again, Ye showing good presence of mind in the round that he clutched back to win. In rotations and taking back map control, they need to have a similar approach, similar thought process, and already MIBR doing what they've done so many times, slowing it down and just covering those choke points so that complexity doesn't have any room to work with.
They've got early Brown Horse control here as well. That's going to be Stewie making sure that area is under his remit. Bomb down like hot dog. This is better. This is what I wanted to see from complexity. Let's start getting stuck in. Let's start challenging with two players. Have that trade potential. Willing to show our own aim off, but Stanislaw may be willing, but still takes a bullet to the face through the edge of the wall there, I believe. Goes down to 18 HP. Lucky to be alive against those AKs. So a nice push, but didn't get the result they were looking for.
A bit of a gamble to fire into a blind smoke towards T-spawn where there's a million angles that which they could be playing.
If he had the silenced M4, you can maybe justify a little bit more, but the silence, the M4A4 in that position was a little bit too risky, I would say. Inside execution looking probable. We've got Ye and Android to defend here. They have an incendiary and a smoke. The smoke's just been thrown towards lower ramp. With 30 seconds remaining, perfectly timed. That's going to make things very uncomfortable now for MIBR. This is looking good.
Android has to be very swift to act off of Ye's aggression. In behind spools, he'll buy himself some space. No one's spamming it as of yet. Fallen AWP scoped in toward the lane, so he's already got Android. That gives him the wrap. He's actually further, and Fallen checked it. Ye had to swing it, shot from Fallen. Response? No, it's not. Shazam couldn't collect. Because it looked like he had a lineup toward the top entrance, but it's all Stanislaw. That fella was far quicker than it needed to. If Ye hadn't swung out, I dare say Fallen was down. Beyond that, I'm not sure, because everyone else just gets obliterated.
Everyone's saying Fallen is back, but if he's hitting shots like that, I absolutely agree. That is vintage Fallen there. Up close and personal. Hits the headshot, of course. Overkill in many ways. There's 10 seconds remaining. They didn't even lose a single player then, Matt. So they avoided the reset before, but this is still a dark times of complexity. Round number 12, 9-2 down. UMP for Mass, a Deagle for Android, and 2 rifles here. This could be the end of their half if they can't pull this one off. They need to try and find those close range kills once again. coldzera missing the initial Molotov that makes up for it. They go for a faster outside play here. Will this favor the CTs? Time will tell. Tarek lies in wait inside the smoke, waiting for the pass to come through. There it is, and he will be taken down.
Holds. One standing through the smoke toward the side channel. On top of the train gets destroyed again by Fur. Every single duel just seems to slip from their grasp as it's once again so Fur's angle's fairly clever. That part of the train to block off all of his head. Gives him a bit more to work with, but Ye has to back away now on 12 HP, being tagged so early and trying to save. They know that he has to run toward the confines of the B site. They'll already head up the ladder and down the brown halls. He's going to have very little room to breathe if he wants that M4.
Well, 12 HP, and there's no reason not to hunt him here. It's a very common position, Matt, to try and hold on to your M4. I think his days might be numbered. Stewie's surely going to investigate, but he does push a little bit more forward. He might survive this. We'll see. Stewie and all he has to do is one bullet. Not going to happen, but Fallen will finish off with the P250. That is the nightmare for complexity. They were broke before. I'm not even sure what you would call this. They can't really justify much more than P250. It's a 10-2 down. Need to take an eco. And then on the CT side of training, on the T side, I'd still say there's a slight chance for them here. But it looks like they're out of gas. And this is what I was worried about. They look so good in the studio environment. But MIBR just, they revel on the stage. This is where they do their best work. And that's why they're considered the world's best. Because they can play on the stage. And they even better than what they do in the studio. They get pumped up by the crowd. And looks like complexity will have to take the full gear. They'll take a timeout at least to discuss their options. There's not many of them, I have to say. At this point, we'll just be discussing how they can keep their heads in the game and realize it's not over just yet, which it certainly is, and it never is. We've seen some tremendous comebacks in this major alone. This one might be beyond the pale, though. We'll see what they've gone for. Nothing invested from what I can see. Not a single dollar brought into round number 13. A gimme from MIBR if ever I've seen one there. Money is absolutely fine for the rest of the game. There'll only be 2 rounds after this. As Tarek explores towards the connector, there is a player boosted up on the other side.
Down from nearly caught him out. Can't transfer fast enough, so they do get 1 kill. Fur doesn't want to leave that AK on the ground, but he actually has. Shazam could click the E key and actually reach that far to get it. As Fur realized he will now. Oh, careful, Fur. Don't want to stick to the trades. Meanwhile, bomb goes down at the other site. That was inevitable at that point. They didn't have the weapons to fire at range. So save the AK. It seems all the action we talk about in the complexity side in this game, Henry, is talking about a player's safety.
That's been the most interesting storyline for complexity, really. They've had a couple of great rounds with the up-close and personal MP9, but that's about as interesting as it's got for them. They mainly have been saving victory, but he's taking no prisoners this time. Purely headshots for him as he pushes towards inside. That's Def going down, and it's up to Shazam now to try and hold this AK-47. He's towards that lower ramp, but he doesn't know where to look. Definitely going to have some trouble here, but looks of things. To be honest, but of course, absolutely not. Stanislaw will survive, but with absolutely nothing. USP and Spawn, he still gets money on the CT side, just for those that are not familiar, but would have liked a lot more as we enter round number 14. It's 11-2, another stomping here in the quarterfinal as the M4s come out again, no kits, bare bones utility, and MIBR looking very comfortable, but still disciplined. I will say that much. I expected him to start looking a lot looser and making mistakes, but you can see Yanko is not allowing that to happen in any capacity. Keep your head screwed on, win every single round, don't let anything slip by.
Certainly true that you could easily get carried away in a situation like this. Start running rampant, start trying to look for individual stats.
Absolutely, and you can't take the temptation there. You need to make sure you stick to the game plan.
13 rounds in, Ye's on 9 kills. That's the highest on complexity at this point in time. Everyone's had a chance on the MIBR side. Let's call through for he's gone right through. Depths. Stats. Android as well to find Terry. This is looking better now for complexity. The overextension, trying to cover inside of the smoke has actually cost them, but look at Cold. Again, AWP walks at this time from the bottom of Pop Dog. Fur now takes the access from that, the room given to him by the way of that kill. Shazam's already gotten fallen back. Not long for life, though. Fur able to to him. This is even better from Def, though. Gets behind him. Fur where he was. So Def, although ready, plays it for the trade, and that's perfectly done from complexity. Finally, they get one more.
You can see them playing in front of the smokes once again. They're sticking in pairs as well. The CT's making sure they're utilizing the buddy system correctly. It's Cold. Sorry, it was Stewie that got through, and he thought that's it. He's going to find a couple of frags here behind enemy lines. The Def takes care of him and closes out the round as well. Good stuff by him. As Ye getting the final kill. We're going to the final round of the first half here. Remember, it is a best of 3. We've got Inferno next, where complexity have shown their absolute best work throughout this tournament so far. They have got the AWP once more for Shazam. They need the 11-4 here. It has to happen. 12-3 just won't do on the CT side. Doesn't leave them almost no buffer room for the loss of the pistol. As Ye holds alone towards inside. He'll try and challenge, but can't control the spray map, and the retake has to begin. Shazam smoked off, waiting for them to push further down towards that upper ramp. Stewie smoking off, and this could be it.
They need the anchor players to at least get one kill. Unfortunately, he's been so sharp, all things considered. Couldn't do much. Valmar again is planted. Hit for Android, kit for Def. Stewie's going to get a little more aggressive. Def actually finds Fur. That's going to give him a bit more of a chance to get back inside of the site as Stewie waits to swing, but no swinging will be done as Android steps in and says that's enough. Gets them a lot closer. They may even look at position, body block running through. Android able to trade it off. Tarek's gone for the flank. That puts him away from the default position, but never mind that. Smoke's still on it. It's going to extinguish. They can actually hold this. He needs to get around. He can't do it. Complexity gets there for.
Might not be a lot, but it's enough. Complexity do take the final round there, 11-4. At least gives them a little bit of breathing room here. They can win the pistol. There's no reason why they can't dish out equal treatment in the second half. Not the best start for them here on the big stage. Like I said, it's a best of 3. MIBR look lethal. Very similar to the Na'Vi big game. Just individually, MIBR just look heads and shoulders above Complexity right now. There is a shining light, though. Ye is keeping up with them in the fragging department. He won a big clutch before, came very close to a second. And if they can win this pistol, there is a slight chance they can pull this one back. MIBR 11, Complexity 4 as we swap things over. But the bad news is Complexity now on the T side. They have to win this. There's just no two ways about it. It should be an inside play again, but they have got 2 smokes. Suggest they could go towards outside as well. The Molotov for post plant or towards that connector as we start to look at the approach from MIBR. They're going to play a very standard round as well. Nothing too aggressive from them. Cold Zera looking towards Ivy as Stewie holds in connector. Watching inside with Fur.
Good shot over top of the smoke, finds Def. Spammed it, and shot will count. Stewie's pushed back off the bomb train. Smoke still down, he wants elevation to get above them. That's why he continues to stay on top of it rather than giving up the position. Terra can't find the shot to deny the plant. Stewie thought he could get down there to get it. Furs just nailed 2 more. Tarek as well. This is just insane. MIBR's accuracy showing once again. It's going to be their round. They go 12-4. You said it, Henry. This is almost the end of it for complexity.
Yeah, if you don't win that round, I'm sorry, I can't romanticize the storyline anymore. And if that's any more jeopardy in towards the situation, because it looks like complexity might be out of this one. It's going to take maybe even a force buy in the second, or they hold their breath and go for the third. It looks like it's the latter. They're going to go for AKs in the third. So that gives away another round here. It's going to be 13-4 to kick things off very early in the second half. MIBR surprisingly get 2 MP9s here, but to be fair, players like Fur seem to excel with that particular weapon in any situation, so that's fine. PD50s and Complexity looking to get that bomb down. That's pretty much the only objective here. It'd be very common for them to go inside like this, because you can trade out kills, and even if 4 players go down, you can still sneak plants in. So that's what they'll go for here. Stewie knows it. That's why he has the SMG. He wants to battle up front and not be far back and allow them to plant. He wants to do as much damage as he can. We've seen him do quite well holding B-bomb sites with an MP9 before. Let's see if he can do it again.
Incendiary thrown just as soon as he spotted anyone at all. Nade through, trying to do any damage that he can. That is a lot of damage for 1 grenade. Certainly softens them up for that SMG lies. Armor, it shouldn't be a hard task. There he is. Because he did down as he fell inside of the site. He is committing to the ball front, and that is the right decision, but the wrong timing as the nade comes through and Fur takes him out.
Touchdown with the HE, but you can see exactly how I built it up. Even if everyone goes down, there's a chance of getting that plant. Unfortunately for Cole, didn't work out, but they still have the AKs here. 13-4 down, and you can bring the AKs out early by history, getting it done. Denying the plant the best he could. Goes down eventually, but it was enough. Great little grenade there, just to stop the A plants and the bomb. So no tactical time I hear, I will say that. But MIBR with the AWP in the hands of Fallen, they still have an MP9 for Cold Zera, but if you play it correctly, that's still fine. Really last chance here for Complexity. Don't win this round, I'm afraid it will be GG for Train, and we'll move on to Inferno pretty much. Cold Zera now playing by the server, dropping down together to hopefully trade out a killer Pop Dog. No one there to receive though. Stewie has full control of inside by himself with the M4. Fur will be backing him up. Could fall back if Stewie finds an opening pick.
I go for the server boost at this point, considering there's smokes down rather than putting Fallen up above, who has the arm that's susceptible to close range combat. They put Cold up instead, and he's going to be flashed from above through the skylight. And although it didn't fully catch Android, he certainly does win the battle on the M4.
Stewie's got that kill. He threw an incendiary at the steps. He then threw a smoke at his feet. He made sure there was no chance they took him down in response. Maintains the 5-on-3, even with 12 points of health. Side now, knowing they won't come back there. 4 players outside from MIBR. This is looking perfect from them. Great mid-round calls, great decision making, and just applying the pressure to Complexity. You can see they can't handle it.
Forward to cover off. Ooh, Ivy, although Fallen missing a shot makes it interesting given the smoke that is down. Tarek finds Stanislaus Shazam. He runs out blindly. Not blind in terms of a flash, but blindly toward the site and gets caught off by Cold, who then finds Yay. It's 2 to go for MIBR.
What a call, Matt, to boost on the server as well. Death, we saw it from his POV. He was waiting for the boost. He knows what that smoke means. But even up against the MP9, Cold Zera comes out on top, finds an AK-47 to end off the round. 3 AKs now, and it has to be the force fight. 14-4 Complexity. Really clutching at straws as we head into round number 19. It looks like we're just going through the formalities at this point, as they look way too comfortable. This is reminiscent of SK Gaming in their prime on Train, just looking indomitable, just every single round going in their favor. Now just pistols for the North Americans as Fallen holds towards that connector. Looks like a very default round. I'd assume some sort of execution. Indeed, they are lining up smokes now. You want to go for the wall of smokes here, try and get the bomb down and push as close as you can with those CZs and try and punish.
If the pistols find anything. Forward stance, though, inside of the smokes. As Cold, recognizing that they're coming over, goes further up. This is a great roll from MIBR. Tarek straight to the wall. Bomb down. We can watch off Cold. Yes, bomb goes down. Cold Zero says, right, if you're going further up, so am I. Smokes in. We know exactly how to play against this. They've seen it too many times. Such wisdom and experience. The only definitive champions left in this event are on the MIBR squad. Tarek and Stewie coming over from Cloud9, who didn't make it through the group stage, or at least the legend stage, I should say, this time. Tarek tries to get an avenge his teammate. He will successfully do so. It's map point already for MIBR.
Too strong, I'm afraid. Through the smoke, the incendiary kills. They didn't even get close to finding a frag there. As we go map point here. MIBR 15, complexity 4. Galil, Scout, CZs. They now need 11 rounds in a row just to force overtime. I think we know which way this one's going. Complexity, though, remember, best of 3. This is fine. This is MIBR's pick. We move on to Inferno next, where MIBR, for me, I feel like they look weak on it at times. It's one of their worst maps. Eric comes in with a double frag, and that's the final nail in the train pocket, at least, as it looks like another clean sweep coming through. And I have to say, the amount of clean sweeps MIBR have had in this particular map has been absolutely insane. I haven't seen anything like it. As Death with the Scout, 5 versus 1, leading over the knife there. Death his head, as he will get a fight here, not completely over. Gets another one, there is a chance here, but he will go down eventually. Ladies and gentlemen, 16-4 in favor of MIBR. Perfect from them.